Assalamualaikum and hi. For our group assignment, we decide to research one company to study about the fraud case. So we take a Boeing company as the one company in our task assignment. So what does company do? Actually, Boeing company as a leading global airplane company. Boeing deliver manufacturing service, commercial airplane, defense product and space system for the customer in the world. So we continue the next slide, which is tone at the top. Tone at the top commonly refer in the auditing. It used to define company management and board of director leadership and their commitment to being honest and ethical. The tone at the top set forth a company culture, environment and corporate value, where it's used to refer to the attitude of the company management toward internal control and ethics. NAG is the board of director and leadership team establish the strong corporate culture of the respect among the employees. So NAG is how we detect Boeing company have a problem on using the tone at the top. So I want to explain a detail about their company. Actually, a Boeing company is the multinational corporate based in United States that they design, build and sell a commercial airplane to airline all over the globe. So in the case, the firm is charged with one count a lot of cheating in the United States in criminal information, such as criminal amount over 2.5 million under the term of the DPA, 242.3 million criminal penalty, and 1.77 million in compensation payment to Boeing 737 MAX airline customer. The establishment of the 500 million cash victim benefit fund to compensate the 346 passenger who died in the Boeing 737 MAX crash on Lion Air flight. Next is the fraud Boeing company. Boeing company failed to recognize the company suffered financial loss and reputation damage, and the corporation did not provide enough training to their pilot, and management did not bother to educate the pilot about the software that had been deployed. And next is who is their whistleblower for this case. Adib, a former Boeing employer who worked on their 737 MAX, is the one of the whistleblower who actually devised claim he advised manager to shut down the manufacturing line due to fault and code casting, but that his suggestion were ignored, and the effect that happened is construction the plane were overworked at the risk and making mistake due to push to create plane and difficultly curing part. So I will pass to FARHAN to continue the next slide.
Thank you. And now I will go through question 3, which is about the fraud triangle. So the fraud triangle can be defined as a concept used frequently in auditing to explain why an employee or person decide to commit fraud at work. Auditor regularly refer to the fraud triangle when assessing the risk of fraud in an organization. The fraud triangle has 3 components, which is the first one is pressure, opportunity and rationalization. So in this case, in this scenario, we can see that it also related to the fraud triangle because of the employee decide to commit fraud while performing their duties. The first component is pressure, or sometimes known as incentive. Pressure can be happen when there, or what we call the top management, influence an employee attitude or mindset toward committing fraud. Some types of pressure for fraud include compensation based on financial indicator, investor and analytic expectation, and personal motivation. Furthermore, an example of personal interest that may give pressure for fraud is the desire to make more money, the need to pay personal debt, a gambling addiction, and so on. So in this scenario, Boeing employees conduct fraud because of their choose profit above truthfulness by hiding crucial information from the FAA about the operating of their 737 MAX aeroplane and participating in cover-up activity. As we can see, they commit fraud because of they have a personal incentive, which is to make more money and profit. So it is possible that if they are honest with the FFA, which is their share the information about the crucial fact, their income will remain the same or not change. Next is opportunity. The first opportunity refer to the circumstances that allow fraud to take place. It is the only component of the fraud triangle that a firm has complete control over. Weak internal control, a terrible tone at the top, and insufficient accounting procedure are the things that might be opportunity that lead to the fraud. The intents, in our opinion, can be linked to a lack of internal control and a terrible tone at the top. Weak internal control such as poor division, a lack of monitoring, and insufficient process documentation raise the possibility of the fraud. In this scenario, we can find that just 2 Boeing workers are aware of a crucial aeroplane component, which is known as the maneuvering characteristic augmentation system, or what we call it MCAS, which might be due to the senior management being unaware of the knowledge or inadequate documentation in reform. The same is true for a lack of tone at the top. We can see that following the incident, Boeing made significant changes to their management, such as establishing a permanent aerospace safety committee of the board of directors to oversee Boeing policy and procedure governing safety, as well as its interaction with the FAA and other government agency and regulator, and so on. Before this strategy, it's possible that upper level management was experiencing difficulties administering or running the organization. Last but not least is rationalization. Rationalization refers to a person rationalize for defrauding other. In this scenario, our ability to make informed decision is affected by the awful tone emerging from the top. So this means that the top management is entirely motivated by self-interest in order to commit fraud. It's possible that they commit fraud because they believe the higher management is also participating, or higher management is also do the fraud. So it should come as no surprise that subordinate will follow in the footsteps of their superior in order to maximize earning in their own business, which is they want to make more profit or side income. So next I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is FARHAN NURUL AMRI. My student ID is 62213120466. So for today I'll be talking to you about the consequence, effects and penalty that imposed to the company, management and also relevant parties of Boeing US. So Boeing US is a based multinational corporation that designs, manufactures and sells commercial airplanes to airlines worldwide. And I've been thinking about the Department of Justice that recently during the settlement with the Boeing company for their 737 MAX aeroplane certification fraud over the last several block entries. So for the company, under the DOJ corporate enforcement policy, no matter how heinous the activity that led to the violation, whether fraud or corruption, if a firm turns things around, cooperates and comprehensively remedies, it will obtain a decrease in the ultimate fine and penalty. For the management, Boeing considered product safety by separating it from the business units and putting it in its own department for a corporate compliance function, and this is also a best practice. It must be self-contained in its work, not reporting to or being affected by the business unit. Boeing also reminds all compliance professionals that the company's significant risks require review and engagement from the board directors of the risk. For the management function, for the compliance roles, this entails forming a compliance-focused board of directors company. Lastly, for the relevant parties, we should keep in our mind that there will be plenty of eager whistleblowers in the hospital and medical care arena for false claims and lawsuits that involving the government distributions from the pandemic and related issues. And the IQBAL believes that as a result of the pandemic's economic collapse, that Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) will place a greater emphasis on financial and also corporate fraud. So these are all the effects that involved in the company for Boeing US.
Hello everyone, my name is Alif and I'm the last panel for this section of the conclusion that we have learned from doing this report. The report is about the Boeing US company of frauds. First is about the tone of what is the meaning of the tone of the talk. The tone of the talk is like a leading direction of the company. It will decide whether the company will do a crime or success or will gain a reputation being a good one. For the Boeing company, I think that their tone is very bad, which leads to the somebody either disseminate, joining and participating in a crime. So how does the fraud happen? It study happens. The study is happened due to the failure of the plane and then the pilot didn't manage to point time and make the plane crash. The Boeing company is trying to combine in two parts at once, which is trying to cut the cost and by covering the lack of that part, and they are using augmented reality software. And this software is a new one which had even the scale pilot that didn't know about it. And due to the non-experience from the software, when the extreme case or the extreme situation happened during that time, during tragedy, the pilot didn't manage to respond in time, and then the plane goes down and made them crash. So, who is the one that leaked the information regarding this trade that make the Boeing company fraud being exposed? First is the whistleblower. The whistleblower is like something in the internal organization or group that are leaking the information regarding whatever it is, whether a crime or something good or something whatever. And there are two whistleblower for these frauds. The first one is from the Boeing company itself, it is 8%, and the second one is the Michael Collin from the Financial Accounting Association FFA is Michael Collin. From the Boeing company, Pearson, he is the engineer pilot for the aviation for the planes, and he noticed that by cutting the cost, it will reduce the function for the planes. Even his sports experience, the management did listen to him and proceed to do the frauds. And they also did some manipulation on the price statement on the operating cost and trying to deceive outsiders and making investor on them, which result in the tragedy after the loss of life and the loss of investments. For the FFA, Michael Collins noticed that there's something amiss within the FFA, their senior officer noticed that they are doing some conspiracy with the Boeing high up and the CEO, and by investigating them, he managed to expose those people and bring it to the judgment and managed to make the evidence which has led to this fraud being exposed. And next is the reason why this fraud is happened with the triangle fraud. There is a triangle fraud which consists of opportunity, rationalize, and pressure. I'm going to talk about the pressure first. The pressure is something that motivates. If you are so pressure, I'm very scared, so I'm going to do something. I feel very bad, I need money, so I'm going to gain more money by doing everything you want, like fraud. So in this case, cybercrime. And the fraud, for this one, is the pressure is they need money. All the employee they participating, they join because of the same reasons. And next is the opportunity. Opportunity is something that make that thing happen, make the fraud or the crime happen. And in this scenario, it's the lack of internal control, which is someone to monitor their operation and someone to monitor their value or their moral or the integrity and the honesty in doing their job. And that's why they manage this thing happen. And next is the rationalization. Rationalization is like decision making. And decision making, it depends on the turn of the thought sometimes. even and for Boeing company, the employee assume that the higher up are also doing this crime, so they also pursuing this crime. That's why only one person, which is an engineer pilot, only him that didn't agree and voiced out his opinion briefly and encouraged this. Next is the consequence and what happened to the company. The company has being asked by the OE to pay around 2.2 over for 200 million and over, and then they also are being made to pay for each company of the victim around 1.4 million dollar US. And there are some people who also has gain a deficit or loss regarding the investment on this, and the Boeing company also being made to pay those airline company that buy their planes because of the defective planes, such as the airline and the Lion Airline and the Ethiopia Airline is tragedy. And next is I think we should get it has also related with the auditors, especially regarding this case. Auditors should be more attentive and professional in doing their job. They should notice something miss, like this case, if there's tragedy happen and why the company gain money profit and there's no exposing to them, they should investigate it themselves. This is make them a public or even to the independent auditor. And that's all from the conclusion. And next is what have learned from doing this project. I think there are many lessons I can learn from doing this project, and the most important is to never ever doing crime or frauds that involve life and money. And money, I mean like over 1 billion or 1 million. This all may stem from greed, this Indian contribute to virus and multiple problems and financial victims in the lost ones. You can do crime, you can do whatever you want, but never ever involves the life of people. It can cause very conflict, many much conflict. As for the Boeing case, I think there are many people who notice this crime but they are not brave enough and have courage to voice their opinion and expose their crime. Like the saying goes, the suffering of the world is not because of the violence of the bad people, but it's because the silence of the good people. So I think we should in future become more courageous and bravely notice of straining and punish the injustice of the other people. That's all from me. Thank you, everyone.